Hi, everyone. I'm Reverend Nikki Happy, the Director of Marketing and Engagement at One Spirit, and I am sitting here today with Dr. Marta Moreno Vega. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good,
I
thank
know you're
you.
in the cold. I'm in the heat.
Yes, it's freezing here.
I hear.
Thank you so much for meeting with me. And I just wanted to learn a little bit about who you are and the work that you do.
Well, I am a professor. I'm an activist. I'm a priestess. I'm a mom. I'm a grandma. I'm an auntie. So I'm a lot of things. Like most of us, we carry a lot of roles, right? But primarily, I see myself as an educator.
Mhm. And so we're here today to talk about your upcoming workshop that's focused on Lukume. Can you tell me what was the inspiration behind this workshop?
So actually, because many people ask me questions about African spirituality, African traditions, it's really to introduce people to a tradition that people know very little about. In fact, most of the information comes from misrepresentation in films and in TV and in people getting sort of snippets of information that provide the understanding of African-based traditions out of context. So this I found to be an opportunity to share what my sacredness is, where historically it emanates, what the legacy is, what the journey has been, and why it resonates so much in communities that understand the sacredness of nature, that understand that our existence is based on nature. That if we understand who we are and what we are and why we're on this planet, we understand it's all based on nature and the ability to coexist, right? And understand that we are nature and we are sacred and we are spirit.
Yes, we are nature, we are sacred, and we are spirit. I love that. And so, can you walk us through what the experience will be like for participants for the workshop day?
Well, the day will start with some history, and I'll try to make it as exciting as possible, right? Because I think that people have to understand the context, the history of what the experience is now, what you see now.
Mhm.
That it has a foundation. In Spanish, el fundamento, right? You always look for the foundation of what you are experiencing, if you can. In its society that's so quick, right? You pick up a cell, you pick up, now there's these classes that put you in space, and supposedly real space, right? And we want a quick fix and quick information. But I think it's very important for people to understand the foundation and experiences that create culture, that create creativity, that create the narrative that identifies who you are, where you've been, right? If not physically, spiritually, and where you are and where you're going. So that the class will follow that theme. It'll have a part of history. It will have a part of understanding the sacredness of nature. It will have an understanding of the divinities that are identified in the Lukumi, which is a Yoruba-based tradition from West Africa, how these divinities function, how these energies function, and how we all are sacred. Because at the moment that you are breathing, which is your breath, right? And exhaling, you know you exist, right? You know that you're planted on this earth. And with the understanding of what is your purpose here, right? I think that many of us don't ask that question. What is my purpose? Why am I here? You know, the intentionality of understanding how the energies function within you and how they guide you to, I would say the word is destiny. What is your destiny? Why are you here? And in that process, right, if we understand the energies of nature as the ocean, we understand the lake, we understand leaves, we understand breath, and we also understand how it manifests in ritual, because ritual is very important. Ritual is that way of implanting memory, right? And values, and the repetition of rituals, the repetition of ceremony, the repetition of festivals, really ingrain you with the values of who you are, who your people are, who your people have been,
Mhm.
and also prepare you to taking it forward in the next generation.
Yes. And so will ancestors be a part of the workshop?
The ancestors are always part of the workshop because you embody the ancestors, right? That's
Mhm.
part of understanding who you are, because you are and you think and you understand certain things, and they're your reference because, right, people before you have implanted you with those thoughts. Because we carry memory, right? And we carry intelligence, we carry information, we carry data, if you will,
Mhm.
that is infused in us. And we use it and we bring it forward. And anytime you do that, you're honoring your ancestors. You're honoring those people who taught you, those people who shared their information with you,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
how that information then goes forward is exactly that. So that, the Yoruba tradition, in terms of how it's journeyed from enslavement, right, to the present, has been a journey of how people have been resilient, how people have been intentional, and how even in a concrete city like New York, even in tropical areas like I am in Puerto Rico, these traditions have survived.
Mhm.
And the reality is that we call the divinities by the same name. We follow the same rituals. We celebrate the same dances, the same movement, the same music. And all of that connects us as a global people.
Yes. And so what would you like the takeaway to be for participants after having taken your workshop?
I think that we have to understand that we carry the sacred, that we are the sacred, in my experience, and I've been initiated in these traditions for 41 years, right? That how you walk in the world, your character, is what defines you, right? And how do you want to be defined? How do you want to see yourself defined? How do you want your character to speak for you,
Mm.
right? And Iwapele is central, your character, that you be a person of character and that you understand you are a person of character. And how do you act in the world, right? With values, with intention and truth.
Mhm.
And how do you understand truth, right? Because what may be true for me is not true for you.
Mhm.
But how do we come to an understanding that we exist in the world together and therefore have to come to some understanding of what truth is? Well, I think that in this moment where we're faced with so many challenges, and we all are, everybody that I speak to is in some level of anxiety. That's why character is so central to our beliefs, because when you understand that you are how you are a transmitter, you're a conduit.
Mhm.
And when you understand yourself as a conduit, because we're here materially for a very short time. Okay? Some people feel their destiny at 30, and they have left us.
Right.
Some people at 70 and they have left us. So the question is, in that journey, right? In that look for your destiny, right? That you fulfill that destiny that you came for.
Mhm.